Every art is related with the creativity, culture and the environment, especially the folk arts of India. Myself, Dr. Akleshwar Mathur from Jodhpur, Rajasthan is going to discuss about my research paper entitled Folk Art of Rajasthan Scoping SDG for the Environmental Sustainability. Rajasthan is a northwestern state of India which is famous for the rich, unique culture, traditional crafts and essence of the aesthetic, culture and diversity. So the background of my research is we have in the modern era we have a number of modern arts which are very expensive and costly, and most of the material used in the modern art are non-biodegradable. But if we consider the folk art, it is totally based on the nature and the materials are biodegradable, easily available or available without any cost in the nature. A question arises in our mind that is it possible to earn money, learn something without harm the environment in the advanced developed world? My answer is yes, because if we are considering the folk arts, then the answer will be yes. And if we consider the folk arts of Rajasthan, then we can achieve the goal number 8 of SDG by 2030. The present paper deals with the introduction and environmental concern of some of the Rajasthani folk arts like Pichwai, Fad, Mandna, etc. and their current status and future scope in terms of environmental sustainability. The concept of this study was originated by comparing modern art with the use of expensive non-biodegradable chemicals and their impact on the environment, and the main objective of this research is to connect the young generation with the traditional folk art of Rajasthan with concept of sustainability. The information about the Rajasthani folk art was collected through the workshop, follow face-to-face communications with relevant artists or supplier and the literature available. Also, the traditional and culture of our festivals is added to enhance the research. Now we are going to discuss my result and discussion, because this is the most important part of this paper. Sustainable harvesting using local material. Each of the Rajasthani folk art using naturally occurring material for preparing it. For example, if we consider the Mandna art, that is the use of red and white sand on walls or floors on festivals, marriage or any other function, there is no other third thing is required. Even the brush is not required in this art. It is made up with the help of fingers. Similarly, if we consider other art like the Fad painting, it is made up on the hand painted or handmade canvas, which is made up by the pure cotton, and all the natural vegetative colors are used in this painting. All the techniques are eco-friendly. The pigment derived from the natural resources. In my paper we also discussed about the table in which the colors used in the Pichwai painting, which is a very unique art of Udaipur or Mewar zone. In this case, the yellow color is obtained by the urine of cow, blue color is obtained by the Neel or indigo, red color is obtained by Hinglu or Geru Mati, and the black color is obtained by the lamp black. All of these materials are easily available, very cheap in cost, and most materials are without any cost. Now the future scope of this study is we can increase the economic conditions of the artist if we consider the folk art on a large level. For example, we can arrange a number of workshop or training programs for the artist. We can make any competition in school and colleges. In our city especially, there are some Fad paintings on railway station, which is the main attraction of visitors. So finally, we can see that if we consider the folk art in terms of sustainability, these are very fit to the environmental sustainability, and by increasing the folk arts, we can improve the economic condition of our state. Thank you so much.
A good session delivered by Dr. Akleshwar Mathur, who is manager of QIA SHPL India Jodhpur Rajasthan. He has given his talk on his paper on folk arts of Rajasthan, scope in SDG for environmental sustainability. Dr. Mathur's paper makes a valuable contribution in highlighting the inherent sustainability of Rajasthan folk arts. The focus on traditional material and research effectively demonstrates its eco-friendly nature, use of local materials, eco-friendly production techniques like sanja painting, thapa arts, etc. The pigments derived from natural sources and are very effectively in addressing the UN SDG. Dr. Akleshwar paper effectively highlights the connection between Rajasthani folk arts and environmental sustainability. The key point was the inherent sustainability of these arts from due to the resilience on locally sourced material, biodegradable material, and traditional and eco-friendly production technique. My suggestion for improvement would be to strengthen the analysis by quantifying the environmental benefits, comparing the carbon footprint of producing natural dyes from pitchwai paintings with that of synthetic dyes used in contemporary arts would be providing a tangible evidence for sustainability advantage. Furthermore, incorporating life cycle assessment of the material used in the art forms would provide a more comprehensive understanding of their environmental impact and further solidify the link with the SDG goals. Another suggestion, if Dr. Mathur would see the Rajasthan handicraft policy drafted in 2022 to avail government benefit to foster his artwork, as well as inaugurating the scheme called Lok Kalakar Protsahan Yojana drafted in 2023 by the Chief Minister, which has transferred certain amount like 5,000 rupees in the bank account of the folk artist and artist by DBT. Here the artists were also given incentive cards which will make them eligible to perform at government events. Such kind of benefits you can avail, and you can do some more good work with the financial aid as well as the government help. Again, your paper was very nice. I am very happy and to see your work. Again, the industrial chemistry, we also derive so many industrial pigments from nature. Now these have certain limitation, but with certain work, okay, through chemistry we can make them more sustainable, more user friendly, more catchy, eye catchy. Again, the paper is very nicely narrated by you. Good luck. Thank you.
Hello everyone attending Viksit Bharat at 2047 conference. I am Dr. Pradeep Saxena, formerly Senior Chief Medical Officer, National Center for Disease Control, NCDC Delhi. I shall be presenting my study titled Comparative Study of Types of Fuel Used for Cooking in Households in India with a view to improve health status and mitigate climate change. Just to introduce to you the topic, indoor air pollution is caused by burning of biomass for cooking in households in India and leads to health effects on respiratory and cardiological systems and lung cancers, strokes, anemia, decreased intrauterine growth retardation, low birth weight babies, reduced life expectancy. Burning of biomass and fossil fuels produces greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxides, sulfur dioxide, etc., and also particulate matter PM 2.5 and PM 10. Greenhouse gas emissions are leading to climate change. Global mean surface temperature is expected to rise more than 1.5 degree by centigrade by 2030, leading to adverse effects on climate change. Our country, India, is committed to achieving Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) by 2030. Rationale and research question for this study was: in view of well-documented adverse health and clinical impacts of indoor air pollution and its linkages with climate change, need was felt to study different types of fuels used for cooking in household in India and suggest measures for increasing usage of clean fuels. Objectives of the study was first to compare types of fuel used for cooking in urban and rural households in India. Second, to study change in use from the period of National Family Health Survey NFHS 4 between 2015 to 2016 to National Family Health Survey 5 between 2019 to 21. Third objective was to identify achievements and challenges in use of clean fuels, and last, to suggest measures for increasing usage of clean cooking fuels. Methods of study were: this descriptive study was undertaken to compare use of clean and non-unclean fuels in India, in rural and urban households in India, from primary data which was provided to us by NFHS 4 and NFHS 5. Clean fuels for the studies are electricity, LPG gas, natural gas or biogas, and unclean fuels were taken as to be kerosene oil, coal, charcoal, firewood, agriculture waste, stubble like dung and dung cakes, etc. NFHS 4 study was carried out between 2015 and 16 in all 36 states from January 2015 to December 16. Household survey was done in about 6.01 lakh households. NFHS 5 study was done in between 2019 and 21 in two phases. First phase in 22 states and second phase in 14 states. Sorry. Household survey done in this survey was 6.3 lakh households. References were also made from recent medical journals, media reports about health impacts of indoor air pollution due to household cooking and its linkages with climate change. Present study itself was done between January to July 2022. Result of the study was on comparison of national data between the two surveys. NFHS 4 showed that 80.6% urban households and 24% rural households, total 43.8% total households were using clean fuels. NFHS 5 showed that 89.7% urban households, 43.2% rural households, total 58.86% total households were using clean fuels. On comparison of statewide data in rural areas, it was found that Delhi and Goa were using more than 95% households were using clean fuels, and in states like Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, there are only 20% households in rural areas which are using clean fuels for cooking. Achievements identified for use of clean fuels were Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, which was launched by Honorable Prime Minister of India in 2016 and providing free LPG gas cylinders connections to below poverty line households, and approximately 10 crore households have been provided this connection so far. Expansion of solar energy in rural areas, solar cookers, use of smokeless chulhas or stoves. Challenges identified were high cost of LPG cylinders for refilling, migrant floating population, accessibility, and resistance to use of clean cooking fuels, because some people still feel that food cooked on unclean fuel is better, like chulhas is better. So that is resistance in them to use clean cooking fuels. In conclusion, while I will say that while usage of clean cooking fuels has increased over the last few years, further investment in providing these to needy and by highly subsidized or free LPG cylinders for refills to BPL households and solar energy based solutions are essential to control indoor air pollution so as to improve health and economic status of community, and also mitigate climate change. This shall synchronize directly or indirectly with attainment of SDGs for the country, mainly SDG 1, 3, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, and 17. Thank you for your kind attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pradeep Saxena, who is a former Senior Chief Medical Officer, National Center for Disease Control, Delhi. You have presented a very nice paper on a comparative study of types of fuels used for cooking in household in India, effectively highlighting the concerning impact of the unclean cooking fuels on public health and climate change. It's again a topic very closer to me, as I am an environmental auditor for various Schedule 1 industries like Reliance, Nayara, which are fuel producing industries. Now, according to EPA and other studies, indoor pollution can be significantly worse than outdoor air. Now, this is very alarming, with some homes experiencing air quality 2 to 5 times more polluted than the outside air. It's very interesting to know that according to WHO, World Health Organization, around 2.1 billion people worldwide, which is around 1/3 of the global population, is cooking in open fires and insufficient stove fueled by kerosene or biomass, which is unclean fuel or coal. It generates harmful household air gases, which have a negative effect on health of the family. We can see this very evident from the data that household air pollution was responsible for 3.2 million deaths in 2020, including 237,000 deaths of children under the age of 5. You can imagine how severe it is. In poorly ventilated dwellings, the indoor smoke can have high levels of fine particle 1,000 times higher than acceptable, PM 2.5 and PM 10. Now they are very problematic. Among this 3.2 million deaths from household air pollution exposure, the data says 32% are from ischemic heart disease, 23% from stroke, 21% are due to the lower respiratory infection, 90% are from chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, that is COPD, and 6% are from lung cancer. So this data is very much alarming. So burning of biomass, fossil fuels produces greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, methane, N2O, which leads to climate change, and also production of particulate matter 2.5, PM10, PM2.5. This global mean of surface temperature is expected to rise more than 1.5 degree by 2030, leading to the adverse effect in the climate change. In rural household, usage of clean fuels increased from 24 to 43.2%. In urban area, it is increased from 80.6% to 89.7%. The key points delivered by Dr. Pradeep was very significant, though still insufficient increase in clean fuel usage between the National Family Health Survey 4, which was conducted by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare 2016, and similar survey was conducted by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare in 2021, which we call it as NFHS 5, emphasizing the need of continued efforts like Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana PMUY for the use of cleaner fuel has substantially improved the health of women in home. A suggestion for more improvement would be to strengthen the analysis by exploring the factors like fuel choice. While the paper presented the data of clean usage of the fuel, a deeper dive into the socio-economic cultural, and regional factors that also contribute to the continued usage of unclean fuel like coal and would be valuable. For example, investigating the affordability of cleaner fuels, access to the distribution networks, traditional cooking practices would provide a more understanding of the challenges and informed target intervention. Furthermore, exploring the effectiveness of exciting program like PMUI and suggesting the specific policies recommendation based on these findings would be enhancing this paper impact. So I congratulate Dr. Pradeep for giving such insight on this very important aspect, which is connected to the every individual of the world as they are living in the family. They do not want to lose their family members. Thank you very much.
Welcome. Myself, Dr. M. Packialakshmi, working as Assistant Professor Forestry at School of Agriculture Science, Dhanalakshmi Srinivasa University, Ruchy. I am very happy to present my research work on India's biggest virtual conference on Sustainable Developmental Goals 2030. My research work is on investigation on habitat suitability for Asian elephants, a phytogeographical structure and composition of vegetation dynamics in Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, Western Ghats. This study falls under the Sustainable Developmental Goals 15, Life on Land. Now let's see the introduction about this study. The human-elephant conflict is a negative interaction between human and elephant. The elephant is one of the major conflict-prone wildlife species in India. The elephant range over the largest area to meet their food, water, shelter, and thus bringing the greater contact with the human settlements. Unfortunately, this umbrella species faces a severe crisis due to the limitation of food resources inside the forest area. Hence, the elephant moves out of the forest area in search of food, where the cropping practices were shifted from conventional to cash crops like paddy, banana, sorghum, sugarcane, which attracts the general giants towards the cropping patterns and thus creating the human-elephant conflict. These issues are only indicative observation. There is no scientific and systematic studies on human-elephant conflict mitigation measures. Hence, this study was undertaken to overcome the above challenges in the study area. The study area was approached by using the systematic random sampling method. There are two methods, transect line survey method and sample plot survey method. A total of 17 transect line and 120 sample plots were laid out in the study area. A 2-kilometer length of the study area was laid out in the study area, where the sample plots were laid out in opposite directions and the sample plots were laid out 50 meter away from the transect lines. For trees 20 by 20 meter, for shrubs 5 by 5 meter, for herbs 2 by 2 meter, for grasses 1 by 1 meter sample plots were laid out, where the sampling intensity was 0.2% to used to document the floral diversity in the Coimbatore Elephant Reserve. Then the quantitative parameters, density, frequency, abundance, relative frequency, relative dominance, and important value index was assessed, where the diversity indices like Simpson Index, Shannon Index, Evenness Index, Equitability, and Margalef Species Richness Index was assessed in this study area. These are the field observations were conducted in the Coimbatore Elephant Reserves. And this slide which shows the direct observation on the feeding behavior which resembles the Sustainable Developmental Goal Life on Land. So this is a direct observation on feeding behavior of the elephants. So the study resulted that among the different floras like trees, shrubs, herbs, and grasses, the tree species diversity is high when compared to the all other floras like shrub, herb, and grasses, followed by the grass diversity. The tree diversity is a nebulous concept that encompasses the heterogeneity and wide variation. The vegetation pattern fluctuates from season to season in a cyclic fusion over the year in a succession manner. Therefore, the necessary for measuring the species richness is highly crucial for ensuring the biodiversity conservation. In this regard, the florist assessment of the forest is used to affect the or detect the risk of extinction, arrival of the species, and changes in the planting diversity over a time. So, now the study is concluded that maintaining the ecological balance of the forest and the conservation of the dominant species needed a comprehensive approach to forest management. So, this paper calls for urgent conservation plan to conserve the biological diversity. Thank you.
Nice work. Please accept my sincere appreciation to Dr. Packialakshmi, the corresponding author, for the meticulous work in leading to this important research and presenting these valuable findings on the floristic composition of the Nilgiris Biosphere Reserve. The work provides a crucial baseline for future conservation efforts. The paper entitled Investigation on Habitat Sustainability for Asian Elephants, a Phytogeographical Structure and Composition of Vegetation Dynamics in Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, that is Western Ghat. It is nicely presented by Packialakshmi ji from Dhanalakshmi Srinivasan University, Tiruchirappalli. The co-authors are MP Divya from Directorate of Research, Tamil Nadu, Coimbatore, and K. Bharanidhan, Department of Agroforestry from Mettupalayam, and Nikhil Balu Rajputji, who is also joined as a junior scientist for plantation. The Western Ghats mountain ranges running down to the southwest side of India in treasure trove of wildlife. Though it covers less than 6% of the land area in India, the Western Ghats contain more than 30% of all species of plants, fishes, reptiles, amphibians, birds, mammals found in the whole country, according to the report of WWF. The key point focused in this paper on the importance of understanding the floristic composition and vegetation dynamics to support elephant conservation efforts. The researchers have conducted comprehensive field survey, kudos to them, cataloging various plant species and analyzing their distribution pattern. The Coimbatore Elephant Reserve, that is also known as CER, forms an integral and important part of Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, that is NBR, and it covers an area of 4,600 plus square kilometers, and it is also recognized as the largest elephant reserve by area among the 4 elephant reserves in the Tamil Nadu state. A suggestion for improvement would be to strengthen the connection between the floristic data and the elephant habitat sustainability. While this study provides a valuable inventory of plant species, further analysis of nutritional value of this plant, because whatever we eat and whatever we put into our stomach, same is applicable to the other animals too. Now the content, the nutrition inside that food material, plays a very important role in the elephant's diet here specifically. Enhance the paper contribution to conservation studies and strategies and many policies. You may contact to many governmental agencies for the same. For example, identifying the key forage species, assessing their availability within the reserve would provide a more specific insight into the habitat sustainability. Additionally, considering the impact of human activities also and environmental changes on this availability of this crucial food source would further strengthen the paper's relevance to the conservation effort. I congratulate again all the researchers for their wonderful work. Congratulations.
Today, I am presenting the paper in the National Conference on Sustainable Development Goals 2030, Bridging Gaps, Building Future for Viksit Bharat 2047. My name is Tamanna, a PhD research scholar at Swami Vivekananda Subharati University. The title of my paper is AI-powered animation transforming 3D pipelines. The integration of artificial intelligence into 3D animation is revolutionizing traditional production pipelines by automating complex tasks such as rigging, rendering, and character movement. This paper explores how AI-driven tools and technologies are reshaping the animation landscape, enhancing efficiency, reducing costs, and fostering creative innovation. Historically, 3D animation has been characterized by labor-intensive workflows that require significant time and technical expertise. Tasks like manual rigging, frame-by-frame animation, and high-resolution rendering have often posed challenges for both small and large production teams. AI, with its ability to learn patterns and automate processes, is addressing these challenges by introducing tools that streamline and optimize these workflows. The study focuses on the specific roles AI plays in automating critical animation processes. For instance, AI-driven rigging systems significantly reduce the time needed to create character skeletons, while advanced rendering algorithms leverage neural networks to produce high-quality visuals in real time. Furthermore, AI-powered procedural animation and motion capture enhancements enable the generation of realistic or stylized character movements with minimal manual intervention. To illustrate these advancements, this paper presents the case studies of AI applications in the industry, including tools developed by leading studios and independent creators. Examples include Autodesk integration of AI in Maya, Pixar's use of AI-enhanced rendering techniques, and the adoption of real-time AI animation tools in Unreal Engine. While AI offers substantial benefits such as cost savings and improved creative workflows, it also introduces challenges, including the need for skill adaptation and potential ethical concerns around over-reliance on automation. This paper concludes by discussing the implications of AI in 3D animation and its potential to drive innovation while balancing automation with human creativity. By examining AI's transformative role, this provides insights into the evolving impact of 3D animation pipelines and the broader creative industries. As AI becomes increasingly embedded in the creative process, it is essential to strike a balance between innovation and artistic integrity. While automation can handle repetitive and technical tasks, the heart of animation, its ability to tell stories and evoke emotions, remains a deeply human endeavor. By embracing AI as a tool to enhance rather than replace creativity, the animation industry can ensure that technology serves its vision, not the other way around. The future of animation lies in this harmonious integration of human talent and artificial intelligence, driving the medium to new heights. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Tamanna, a research scholar from Swami Vivekananda Subharati University Merit UP, and Dr. Khandelwal, Assistant Professor, Swami Vivekananda Subharati University Merit UP. You have presented a very nice paper on AI powered animation, transforming 3D pipelines, effectively outlines the transformative potential of AI in 3D animation. Just to make a note over here, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji at recent AI Action Summit said on 11th February 2025, just on Tuesday, in a recent call for global investment in India's rapidly growing AI ecosystem, emphasizing its use for public good. Right now, India is leading in AI adoption at 30% rate surpassing the global average of 26%. This is as per Boston Consulting Group report, that is BCG report. According to another report, India's AI market is projected to reach a value of $8 billion by 2025, growing at a CAGR of over 40%, with the country ranking among the top global leaders in AI talent concentration and skill presentation, boasting a large pool of AI professional and significant demand for further skilled workforce. Key sectors like healthcare, finance, retail are rapidly adopting AI technologies, spurred by government initiatives like National AI Strategy. This paper has given information which is very valuable regarding overview of the exciting advancement in AI is bringing in 3D animation. It clearly articulates potential of AI to revolutionize animations in terms of pipelines, boosting efficiency and fostering the creativity. The authors have presented a compelling case for the transformative role of AI in the dynamic field. The key point delivered was AI is an automatic key animation processing like rigging, rendering, and character movement, leading to an increased efficiency and cost effectiveness as well as enhanced creativity. A proposal for upgrading this paper would be to provide more concrete examples of AI tools and their specific functionalities. While the paper mentions applications in Maya and Unreal Engine, detailing the specific AI driven features within these software packages and how they are used in practice would strengthen the analysis. For example, explaining how AI powered motion capture clean tool work and how AI assists in generating realistic facial expression would provide greater clarity and demonstrate the tangible impact of AI on animation workflow. Additionally, exploring the limitation of these tools and discussing areas where human artistry remains essential. This is as per Industry 5.0 would further enrich this paper. Again, I congratulate the author for presenting their very nice paper. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, my name is Nazuk Bhasin and I'm a senior research fellow pursuing PhD at the Institute of Environment and Sustainable Development and the Banaras Hindu University. So today I'm here to present on the topic Urban Futures Reimagined, Integrating Nature-Driven Urbanism and Technology for Resilient Cities. Before I begin, I would like you all to visualize something for me. Picture a city where the air is clean, the streets are lined with trees, and technology and nature are working together seamlessly. So my question to you is, what if cities could heal the planet? That is the bold vision that is driving the concept of nature-driven urbanism, or NDU as we like to call it. We know that urban areas, they are contributing to almost 70% of the global emissions. And it is time that we reimagine what our cities can be. Can they be tools for saving the planet rather than becoming tools that are harming it? They have long been culprits of pollution and inequity, environmental issues, social issues, and economic issues. But what if they could be heroes instead? NDU, ladies and gentlemen, is the key to turning these urban challenges into opportunities. How about we imagine cities as living, breathing organisms rather than the concrete jungles that we have planned them as? When we nurture them with nature and technology, they can flourish and help humanity thrive. To put it simply, Winston Churchill has said, we shape our cities and thereafter they shape us. Right? So why is there a need for NDU now? As you can see in the figure alongside, we are just discussing a small aspect of soil degradation. Right? Similarly, NDU can help us with our water issues, with our social issues, with our environmental issues. All sorts of issues can be tackled by NDU. Why? We know that by 2050, 70% of the global population will be residing in these concrete jungles, will be living in these cities. However, these cities face mounting pressures, be it economic pressures, be it social pressures, be it environmental pressures. Talking about environmental pressures, suffocating heat waves, devastating floods, worsening air pollution.
Thank you very much, Nazuk Bhasin ji from Institute of Environmental and Sustainable Development, Banaras Hindu University, BHU, Varanasi, India, for presenting a paper on rethinking urban sustainability, integrating nature-driven urbanization with technology for resilient and inclusive cities. You have rightly mentioned as Singapore's vertical garden to Copenhagen's climate resilient water management systems are examples from around the world demonstrating the NDU is more merely an ideal but a practical viable strategy for sustainable urban growth. If we can see here in India, it is also actively integrating green spaces like green parks, garden, street trees and green roof into some urban design that we can see around in various cities, developed cities of India. Now these are very useful in mitigating the heat waves, enhancing air quality and creating a valuable recreational areas. This approach is also prioritized urban farming, we can say water sensitive design, biodiversity conservation. Now these are certain new concepts in the design articles which are available in the modern cities. The key point in the delivered research paper was the proposal of nature driven urbanization, that is NDU, as a paradigm that combines nature based solution with advanced technology to create resilient, equitable and inclusive urban spaces, directly supporting SDG 11, which is to make cities and communities safe, inclusive, sustainable and resilient by 2030. A recommendation for upgrading would be to further explore the specific matrices and indicators used to assess the success of NDU implementation. With a reference book entitled Nature Driven Urbanization NDU by Rob Rogema, it's a Springer publication. At all levels, nature driven approaches to design and planning add to the quality of the built structure and furthermore to the quality of life experienced by the people living in the environments. To include nature and greening to the building structure is a good starting point and can add much value. For example, quantifying the reduction in pollution level, the increase in biodiversity or improvement in the social equity resulting from NDU projects would be more realistic evidence of its impact. This would also allow for a more robust comparison between different NDU approaches and facilitate the development of the best practices. I again congratulate the presenter Nazuk Bhasin ji for an excellent job you have done. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. It is an absolute pleasure to be here today at this esteemed conference on Sustainable Goals 2030, Bridging Gaps and Building Futures for Viksit Bharat 2047. Organized by Vedant Knowledge Systems Private Limited, I would like to begin by expressing my sincere gratitude to the organizers for giving me this wonderful opportunity to present on such an important platform. My name is Nikita Nagar and I am from National Institute of Fashion Technology, New Delhi. Today I will be presenting my research on a review on the sustainable employment and economic development in highland tribes of Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh. This research aims to explore the avenue of sustainable economic development and employment in the tribal regions of these two beautiful states, focusing on how we can build a future where these communities are empowered while preserving their cultural heritage and natural resources. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank my mentor, Dr. Neha Singh, Associate Professor in the Textile Department at NIF New Delhi, for her guidance and invaluable support throughout this journey. As we discuss sustainable development, I look forward to engaging in insightful conversation with you all. Together, we can continue to contribute towards the vision of a prosperous and self-reliant Viksit Bharat by 2047. Thank you once again, and I hope you find my presentation engaging and thought-provoking. The contents covered in this topic are the introduction to the topic, objectives, methodology, review of literature, and the limitations. India's dynamic demographic transitions bring forth a complex interplay of challenges and opportunities in the context of achieving the Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs). The presence of youth population and a very potential division in demographics, the goal towards SDG seems more real. Simultaneously, the growing pressure of an aging population and environmental degradation call for immediate adaptive policy measures. These policies must focus on inclusivity, sustainability, and resilience to align India's demographic realities with SDG framework, ensuring long-term socio-economic progress. The objectives covered in the research paper are demographic changes in the tribal regions of Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh, emphasizing interdisciplinary research on SDGs and tribal communities through collaborations. It aims to address challenges in sustainable management practices to align with SDGs and contribute to Viksit Bharat 2047, while exploring issues related to infrastructure, health, and transportation that impact tribal connectivity to urban areas. The methodology addresses demographic, socio-economic, and infrastructural challenges of tribal communities in Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh through demographic analysis, interdisciplinary collaborations, and sustainability-focused methods. It uses government data, surveys, GIS mapping, and participatory research to evaluate population trends, connectivity gaps, and sustainable practices. Deliverables include policy briefs, actionable recommendations, and knowledge resources to preserve the tribal heritage while aligning with SDGs and Viksit Bharat 2047. The review of literature covers some ethnographic analysis and demographic challenges, which includes the addressing of economic growth, education, healthcare, and environmental sustainability. According to a study by researcher Nupur Srivastav, shawls were traditionally crafted on handlooms using the finer yarns and woven in either twill or plain weave patterns. Over time, the introduction of synthetic dyes in red and green enabled the production of shawls in a variety of colors, making them more widely available to the consumers. In terms of sustainable employment and economic development, the growing influx of tourists and the construction of roads and road networks since 1962 have led to improved communication systems, enhanced education, and an introduction of modern supply chains and external products. This development also brought knowledge of synthetic dyes, which have gradually replaced traditional natural dyes. Key demographic changes and implications of SDGs. The Kinnaur district alone reports over 3.3 million unemployed individuals, highlighting the need for skill development, technical training, and promotion of entrepreneurship to integrate local artisans and craftsmen into labor-intensive industries. The policy recommendations to address demographic challenges are tribal development programs and welfare policies in India are designed to promote the progressive social and economic advancement of tribal communities, aiming for the full integration with broader population of the country in a study by Dr. Sanjay Kumar that he has highlighted in 2022. Here the figures show the density of educational centers, schools and colleges in Kinnaur district, Himachal Pradesh through GIS mapping found on Bharat maps, and the figure 2 shows the density of educational centers, schools and colleges in Joshimath, Chamoli district in Uttarakhand through GIS mapping found on Bharat maps. The population census of tribes in Uttarakhand are as follows. The megaclusters found in the Garhwal region of Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh are as follows, as stated in the table, where the artisans are supported by the SGHS. SGHS is the state government health scheme supporting the artisans in the cluster in the specific area. In conclusion, policy recommendations to address demographic challenges are as follows. Collaborations between organizations like IGNCA, Uttarakhand Handloom and Handicraft Development Council, Ambedkar Hastashilp Vikas Yojana, 2009, and institutions like National Institute of Fashion Technology, which has 19 centers across India under the Ministry of Textiles, can bridge the gap between traditional practices and market demands, fostering inclusive and sustainable growth. India's demographic shifts present both significant challenges and opportunities in the context of achieving the SDGs. The youth bulge offers a potential demographic dividend if the country can create the necessary infrastructure, employment opportunities, and educational pathways. At the same time, aging population and environmental pressures require immediate policy attention. By tailoring policies to these demographic realities, emphasizing inclusivity, sustainability, and resilience, India can better position itself to meet the SDGs while fostering long-term social and economic progress.
That was an excellent presentation, Nikita ji. You have clearly articulated your key points and engaged the audience very effectively. The research was well presented and demonstrated a strong understanding of the subject matter. Nikita ji is a research scholar from NIFT New Delhi, and she has given a review paper on sustainable employment and economic development in highland tribes of Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh. These are our crowns. The key point delivered was the potential of leveraging traditional craft and cultural heritage to achieve sustainable development goals, emphasizing the need for policies that modernize this practice while preserving the authenticity and creating local jobs. Improvement can be done at various levels, but to strengthen the connection between the demographic data and specific challenges faced by Bhotia and Kinnaur tribes, while the paper provides population figures, a deeper analysis of age distribution, employment rates, and access to resources within this community would provide a more lucid understanding of their socio-economic vulnerabilities. For example, you can say exploring the proportion of youth engaged in traditional craft versus other occupations, or analyzing the impact of out-migration of these communities would provide a more compelling case for targeted interventions. Additionally, you can also include specific example of successful initiatives that have been supported in a similar indigenous communities in other regions could provide valuable insight for their policy recommendation. Thank you very much for your nice presentation, Nikita ji. Go ahead, you have a good future ahead. Thank you.
Greetings, everyone. It's my honor to present my research paper in India's biggest virtual conference on Sustainable Development Goal 2030, Bridging Gaps, Building Futures for Viksit Bharat at 2047. I am Tarandeep Kaur, Assistant Professor in Kanya Mahavidyalaya, Jalandhar, Punjab, and I'm doing my PhD from APJ Satya University, Gurugram, Haryana. The topic of my research paper is Creating Sustainable Fashion, Chikankari Embroidery as a Cultural Legacy. Chikankari is a centuries-old craft also known as white embroidery or shadow work. Chikankari embroidery reflects the Indian aesthetic and rich cultural heritage. The Chikankari embroidery originating in Lucknow during Mughal time period near about 400 years ago. The objective of my research is to trace the historical evolution of Chikankari embroidery. Second objective is to analyze its cultural significance in India. My third objective is to study its representation in modern fashion. And the last objective is to explore challenges in sustaining the traditional art form. Historical background of Chikankari embroidery. Chikankari embroidery was originated during Mughal era in 17th century by the Queen Noor Jahan. She loved traditional craft. The word chikankari is derived from the Persian word chicken, which means embroidered flowers. The evolution of chikankari during Mughal period was done on white color malmal fabric with white color thread. When Mughal Empire declined, this embroidery was adopted by artisans of Lucknow. In this embroidery, different 32 kinds of stitches are used, like bakhia, which is the herringbone stitch, tepchi, that is a running stitch, fanda, which is a knot stitch, like jali, kathau, tarpai, Zara, Keel Kangan, etc. The chikankari embroidery starts with finalize the design. Then this design is transferred on a wooden block. After that, like a stamping technique with indigo color, block printing is done on the fabric. After the block printing, embroidery is done. In the post-colonial time, traditional chikankari embroidery faced many challenges because of machine-made textile overpower this craft. Chikankari embroidery is not just a craft, it is a great symbol of cultural identity. This craft reflecting the traditional heritage value, local craftsmanship of the India. The motif and technique of chikankari express the seamless blending of different cultural elements. In this craft, inspired from floral geometrical motif of Persia, blend with Indian traditional motifs. Chikankari embroidery also shows the embroidery is rooted in Indian aesthetic with simplicity and harmony. The themes of this craft are prosperity, peace, happiness, and growth. Chikankari embroidery is more than just a source of income for artisans who practice this craft. It is their legacy. In contemporary fashion, chikankari embroidery became a symbol of rich heritage and cultural identity. It also bridged gap between tradition and modernity. Representation in contemporary fashion. Chikankari embroidery has transformed from tradition origin to contemporary fashion. Fashion designers like Abujani Sandeep Khosla, J.J. Flaya, Manish Malhotra, Sabyasachi, Meera and Muzaffar Ali have included this craft into bridal, haute couture, formal collection. But the adaptability of chikankari craft into contemporary fashion like skirts, pants, kurtas, tunics, which are preferred by younger audience. Indian fashion designers have also included chikankari embroidery in ready-to-wear in Pratyapatya collection. Global presence and recognition. Chikankari embroidery has also gathered international attention. This is used by global fashion designers and high fashion international platform. Contemporary adaptation of chikankari shows its versatility and relevance in modern fashion market. While chikankari embroidery has gained popularity, recognition, but this craft faces many challenges in sustaining its authenticity, originality, cultural significance. With the introduction of machine embroidery, traditional hand sector affected a lot. Machine-made copies are cheaper and faster, but handmade textiles took very much time to complete even a one single article. In fact, the demand for chikankari embroidery products are in high demand, but artisans often struggle with low income and exploitation practices. Global exposure of chikankari embroidery has raised concern about cultural appropriation and misinterpretation. Contemporary fashion designers and brands adopt this traditional embroidery without giving the good wages to the artisans who are behind them. The fast fashion modern industry famous by its focus on low price and speed, which has direct challenge to traditional craft like chicken curry embroidery. The environmental sustainability of chicken curry is also major concern. Artisans mainly depend on natural dyes and traditional fabrics, which are very expensive. To, uh, uh, to prepare eco-friendly dyes are very time-consuming and expensive. So artisans opt synthetic dyes, which are not eco-friendly, not sustainable. Government and policy gaps. While government took many initiatives such as geographical indication, GI tags for chicken curry craft to protect its originality, but there are lack of government scheme that focus providing financial aid, training program, and market access for artisans of chicken curry. Conclusion: chicken curry embroidery is a symbol of cultural heritage identity. Bridge the difference between traditional and modernity. To save its authenticity and cultural heritage significance, the following measures are suggested. Developing artisans cooperative to secure fair wages. Apply strict rules for the use of authentic chicken curry label. Promoting collaboration between contemporary fashion designers and local artisans, raising awareness about the handicrafts, culture authentic heritage through our craft fairs, exhibition, and educational initiatives. By addressing these issues, chicken curry craft can continue to thrive as a living art form, embodies India's rich cultural legacy while contributing to contemporary fashion narratives. Thanks a lot.
Crafting sustainable fashion, chicken curry embroidery as a cultural legacy. Ms. Tarandeep Kaur, who is a PhD scholar in APJ Satya University, Gurgaon, Haryana, and Dr. Sangeeta Tanejaji, Associate Professor from School of Design and Visual Arts, APJ Satya University, Gurgaon. Your paper effectively explores chicken curry embroidery journey from traditional craft to contemporary fashion statement. The key point that you have delivered was the analysis of chicken curry as a role or as a symbol of cultural identity, its representation in modern fashion, and the challenges it faces in maintaining the authenticity and sustainability. A recommendation for enhancement would be to provide more actual examples of how contemporary design are integrating chicken curry into their work. While the paper mentions designers like Abu Jani, Sandeep Khosla, and Manish Malhotra showing specific garments or collection that features chicken curry, and analyzing the design choice made would strengthen the discussion. Let us say, for example, describing how a particular designer has used traditional chicken curry motifs in modern silhouette, or how they have combined chicken curry with other textile or techniques would provide greater insight into the adaptation in contemporary fashion. Additionally, including visuals such as photograph or sketches would enhance the paper's impact and make the discussion more winning. Again, I congratulate you for taking this a very nice concept and very nice topic for your research, which was very interestingly delivered. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. Today I'm going to do a small presentation on the role of Sustainable Development Goals in realizing Viksit Bharat 2047, aligning global goals with India's vision from development, by Ruchy Jain from Sushant University. Introduction. The background. SDGs adopted in 2015 as a global framework, India's goal achieving Viksit Bharat by 2047, 100th independence anniversary, an intersection of economic, social and environmental objectives. The key focus: addressing gaps in governance, infrastructure, education, health and technology, building a resilient and inclusive future, The research objectives are: how can India operationalize the SDGs to achieve Viksit Bharat 2047? Hypothesis is transformative strategies leveraging governance, technology, and grassroots engagements are crucial. The significance is aligning national priorities with global goals for sustainable development, lessons for other developing economies. Literature review highlights SAG's importance of holistic approaches to sustainable development, Gupta and Vigilant role of inclusivity in addressing systematic inequalities, UNDP, India's progress and challenges on key SDG metrics, Niti Aayog, regional disparities in SDG implementation across states, and Sharma and Roy, interconnectedness of SDGs and breaking policy making silos. The methodology used is a mixed methods approach. It combines quantitative and qualitative methods for comprehensive insights. Quantitative methods are statistical analysis like SDG index for measurable progress and regional comparisons, whereas qualitative methods like case studies, interviews, and ethnographic research to capture context-specific challenges and opportunities. Data collection, surveys, Likert scale for stakeholders' perception on SDG progress, interviews, semi-structured discussions with policymakers, industry leaders, and community representatives, secondary data analysis of Niti Aayog and UNDP reports. The data analysis techniques are descriptive statistics, progressive evaluation and trend identification, regression, and ANOVA to understand the influence of policies, resources, and local awareness on SDG outcomes. And the current progress and challenges, like the achievements are renewable energy expansion, improved sanitation, Swachh Bharat mission, and the challenges are regional disparities in education, healthcare, and governance, balancing rapid economic growth with the environmental sustainability and impact of COVID-19 disruptions. Transformative strategies are technological advancement, digital governance, and bridging the digital divide, policy reform, strengthening public-private partnerships, climate-resilient urban planning, grassroots engagements, empowering local communities, participatory governance models. Findings and recommendations. Key findings: SDGs require integration across sectors for holistic impact, stronger focus on marginalized groups and rural areas. The recommendations are: enhanced coordination between national and local governance, foster cross-sector collaboration, promote education and advocacy for sustainable practices. Findings from data survey. Survey response distribution statewise, a visual bar graph with positive, neutral, and negative responses were made. And there are also for SDG 13 progress statewise, a bar chart highlighting Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu's highest scores. Regression analysis. 42% variation explained by government policies, local awareness, resources, and ANOVA results significant regional differences in SDG 13 progress perceptions. The role of public-private partnerships. I encourage private investments in renewable energy projects and climate-resilient infrastructure. Investigate underlying factors for regional disparities like social, cultural, and political influences. Conduct longitudinal studies to track changes in perception. Hence, the conclusion is the significant regional variations in perceptions of SDG 13, importance of context-sensitive climate policies, need for collaboration between public and private sectors, call to action, enhance awareness, infrastructure, and policy enforcement to achieve equitable climate goals. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ruchy Jain, a research scholar from Sushant University, Gurugram. She has presented on the role of sustainable development goals in realizing the Viksit Bharat at 2047. Ruchi's paper effectively explores the connection between the SDG and India's vision for developed nation by 2047. The important point delivered by her was to need for transformative methods to bridge gap in policies, implementation, and public participation to effectively operationalize the SDG and achieve Viksit Bharat 2047 in reality. There are so many factors that you can consider over here in your paper. You may refine the research methodology section and provide more material details about data sampling, collection, analysis. While the paper mentions survey, interviews, and secondary data, it has some less amount of specific about sample size, selection criteria, and exact question asked, what you have already taken into your survey. For example, specifying the number of survey respondent, the demographics of the interviewee, and the secondary source used for strengthening the methodology. Additionally, elaborating on how the qualitative data from the interview was analyzed through various thematic analysis, and how the quantitative data was used to draw conclusion would add rigor to the research. Providing more details about the limitations of chosen methodology will also be beneficial. In totality, the paper was very nice. Again, I wish you all the very best for your very bright future. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone. Myself Dr. Sushant Singh, Professor in Department of Life Science, Sharda University. I am very much thankful to Vedant Knowledge System for giving me this wonderful opportunity to participate in India's biggest virtual conference on Sustainable Development Goals 2030, Bridging Gaps, Building Future for Viksit Bharat 2047. This conference is very essential for all those people who works on sustainable direction. It is a good time to understand how this sustainable direction, sustainable development, and these things are helping in building futures for Viksit Bharat 2047. Myself Sushant Singh, I am working as a professor in Department of Life Sciences, Sharda School of Basic Sciences and Research, Sharda University, Greater Noida. I have done my PhD from IIT Guwahati in 2014, and after that I have continuously served in leading institutions like University of Central Florida, Ohio State Universities, and SBP Medical Discovery Institute as a postdoctoral research associate. I have published so far 14 patents and over 50 articles of national and international journals. I have presented my work in more than 50 international conferences as a keynote speaker and have received numerous accolades for this contribution. I am very active reviewer in biotechnology, nanotechnology, and life sciences, and I am always recognized for my critical insights into and the different expertise in research. Recently, I have been awarded by DST SERB a research grant and an MSME, a Government of India. I have received my research funding from this organization. And by Education, Research and Development, I was awarded a Research Excellence Award in 2024. Beyond my research contributions, I am very much committed and involved in fostering innovation and entrepreneurship. And as a member of Innovation Ambassador Institute, Innovation Council, Ministry of Education and Innovation Cell, NMIC, that is from Government of India, I actively promote entrepreneurial initiatives and activities thinking in academia and beyond. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Vedant Knowledge System, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Thank you so much, guys.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Shilpi Agarwal, and I'm going to present the topic Synergistic Effect of GCN Graphitic Carbon Nitride for Halogen-Free Flame Retardant Compositions. Polymers have become the integral part of our daily lives, and all the time we are surrounded by these materials, whether this is textile, plastic containers, wiring, wooden furniture, or packaging material. These polymers are made up of long carbon chains which are highly flammable. Therefore, in case of fire, they combust very easily, leading to severe loss of lives and properties. As per NCRB report published in 2020, in India, the top 5 states having maximum fire accidents were Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, and Tamil Nadu, and they collectively accounted for 55% of total fire-related casualties in India. It has been observed that when a fire breaks out, it spreads rapidly and the people stuck there. The escape time is generally 5 minutes. As a result, the casualty rate is often high. However, with the help of flame retardants, this escape time can be increased to 15 minutes, which can significantly reduce the loss of lives and property. So, what are flame retardants? They are the compounds which will prevent or slow down the spread of fire. To make polymer flame retardant, the compounds are either mixed with polymer or its coating is done on its surface. These compounds make the material safer without compromising other properties. Different types of flame retardants are there, like metal hydroxides, boron-containing compounds, nitrogen, phosphorus, or halogen-containing compounds. Among these, halogenated flame retardants have been reported to be highly effective. However, they are highly toxic and cause pollution to the environment. Therefore, there is a push to eliminate all halogenated flame retardants in India and many European countries. Instead of these, the emphasis is on the development of alternate non-halogenated flame retardants, which can be put in the category of green products. In our work, we synthesize nitrogen-based flame retardant, graphitic carbon nitride, that is GCN, by the pyrolysis of melamine. The yield was 20%. GCN contains mainly carbon and nitrogen arranged in honeycomb-like lattice structure. Adjacent layers of GCN are held together by weak van der Waals forces. These are the FTIR and XRD graph of GCN. In FTIR, we got a peak in the range of 3150 to 3300 centimeter inverse, showing NH stretching vibrations. And at 810 centimeter inverse, we got the characteristic peak of triazine units. In XRD, characteristic peak of GCN was obtained at 27.5 degree. The GCN so formed was compounded with polypropylene using injection molding machine to make various combinations. The composition PP3 with 1.5 gram of GCN was found the best composition, and it passed UL94 test with no dripping. These are the other tests which were performed with all the compositions: LOI, limiting oxygen index, heat release rate, and total heat release. In all the three properties, PP3 had shown the best results. So we can conclude that GCN works as a synergist in flame retardant formulations, and in just 1.5 gram it was able to enhance the flame retardancy of polypropylene polymer. But more work is required to formulate more other flame retardants so that the halogenated flame retardants can be completely replaced. Thank you.
Good afternoon to the conference people. I'm going to review the first presentation. The first presentation is by Dr. Shilpi Agarwal, Associate Professor, Chemistry and Applied Sciences, School of Engineering, UPS. The topic of presentation is synergistic effect of graphite carbon nanorod carbon nitride for halogen-free flame retardant composites. Dr. Shilpi Agarwal, Associate Professor at UPS, Dehradun, developed a halogen-free flame retardant blend for polypropylene using nitrogen-based graphite carbon nitride. In short, it is known as GCN. Polymers, which are widely used in various industries, pose fire risk due to their high flammability, and GCN synthesized via melamine pyrolysis enhances flame retardancy by forming a compact char layer and releasing non-flammable gases to dilute oxygen. Testing showed improved polymer properties and reduced fire hazard. This research highlights graphite carbon nitride potential as an effective flame retardant, making polymer-based materials safer for application in packaging, textiles, and automobile industries. Dr. Shilpi has done a very good job in developing this kind of material, which is the need of an hour for sustainable development. Her research is really interesting and it finds a good potential in sustainable development, the goal of this particular conference. The presentation was really clear. The slides were very good And the way Dr. Shilpi explained all the details of this research is highly commendable. This is one of a very lucrative subject which I came across, and I do feel that these kind of research should be undertaken in near future. This is where Dr. Shilpi research highlights further, and these presentations, the slides were really very well arranged, systematically presented, and I believe that there must be a research paper which is going to ready and it should be published with the conference theme. So I request Dr. Shilpi to make sure she submit this research paper to the conference organization and let this paper get published. And I wish good luck to Dr. Shilpi for her research in this fire retardant area, which is very rarely seen researchers have been taking around. Thank you so much.
Good day, everyone. I'm Dr. K.D. Gaikwad. I'm honored to present our research titled Impact of IoT Devices on Residential Energy Consumptions. It's a comprehensive review. In this international virtual conference on Sustainable Development Goals 2030, Bridging Gaps, Building Future for Viksit Bharat at 2047. This work explores how IoT-enabled technologies can revolutionize energy management, enhancing efficiency and sustainability in households. The integration of IoT in residential setting marks a paradigm shift in energy management. IoT devices through a real-time monitoring and automation offers precise control over every uses. Our research investigation the transformative potential of these technologies, focusing on their ability to reduce wastage and support sustainable practices. This presentation highlights our findings and their broader implication for smart energy systems. For the key objectives were assess the impact of IoT adoption on energy efficiency, analyze the consumption patterns using data-driven methods, and finally, provide the insights into strategies for sustainable energy optimization, and these goals guided our methodology and analytical approaches. So we adopt a robust mix methods for the methodology. First of all, we collect the data in real-time data from IoT-enabled devices such as smart meters and thermostat. Then we get the statistical analysis, that is regression and time series analysis, identified pattern and trends. With the help of machine learning models on predictive algorithms, optimize energy use, and the surveys, we collect qualitative insights into adoption behaviors and uses preferences. This comprehensive framework ensured a well-rounded analysis of IoT's impact. And from the key findings, we adopt a robust, we have the key findings are, our results revealed 15 to 20% reduction in energy consumption due to the integration of IoT devices. Machine learning algorithms effectively forecasted peak loads, enabling better resolution, better resource distribution. And additionally, qualitative feedback indicated improved energy awareness among users, highlighting the behavioral impact of IoT adoptions. And for that, we have the case studies that we analyzed several case studies to validate our findings. First of all, IoT energy monitoring system, so provided real-time tracking and adjustment to minimize energy waste. Then smart home applications, that is enabled remote monitoring and control via mobile devices. And the finally, that is big data analysis, facilitate load balancing and cost-efficient energy management. And these examples illustrate that the IoT's tangible benefits in residential energy optimization. So what are the challenges for these studies or for the effective implementation of the IoT devices? The first of all, it is high initial cost, investment required for IoT devices, then privacy and security concern, that is risk related to the data breaches, then device interoperability, that is compatibility issues across platforms, Then what are the solutions? So we are proposing the solutions that, first of all, affordable pricing models and government incentives for the IoT devices. Then the second is enhanced encryptions and secure protocols to protect the user data. And finally, development of universal standards to improve interoperability. These measures are critical for overcoming adoption barriers and maximizing IoT's potentials. So what are the implications and recommendations from this study? The first of all, empirical evidence that demonstrate IoT's effectiveness in reducing energy consumption, scalability potential, that is highlighting IoT's role in larger smart grid systems. So for that, we are recommending that educating consumers to foster IoT adoptions, strengthening the policies to regulate IoT frameworks, promoting integration with renewable energy systems for greater sustainability, and these insights can shape the future for smart energy management. So to conclude this topic, IoT devices have redefined residential energy management by enabling smart, data-driven solutions for sustainability, addressing challenges such as cost, privacy, and interoperability will further accelerate adoption and unlock new possibilities. So thank you for giving me opportunities to present my research work. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. As a session chair for India's biggest virtual conference on Sustainable Development Goals 2030, Bridging Gaps, Building Features for Viksit Bharat 2047, I am here to review the second paper. The second paper is by Dr. Kunal D. Gaikwad, Associate Professor at MGSM ASC College, Chopda. Dr. Gaikwad explores the impact of IoT devices on residential energy consumption by analyzing real-time data from households. The study assesses how smart devices enhances energy efficiency and sustainability, which is the call of time. IoT-enabled systems like smart meters, automated appliances optimize energy uses by monitoring consumption pattern and reducing waste. This is a very good quality of research Dr. Gaikwad has been performing. The research highlights the benefit of IoT in improvising energy management while addressing challenges such as cost, privacy concern, and interoperability issues. Findings suggest that IoT adoption can significantly contribute to sustainable energy practices and informed decision making in residential setting. Dr. Gaikwad really talked very well, but I was surprised as the slides were missing in his presentation. His video presentation is there. He has the clarity of subject, but this presentation would have been increased or would have been much better if he would have added the real slides like Dr. Shilpi did initially. Dr. Gaikwad has a very good understanding of the subject and he has clarity of how this IoT device's sustainability can be particularly added in this particular research arena. Dr. Gaikwad has submitted a full-length research paper in this direction and we look forward towards this publication. I request the conference organizer for this biggest virtual conference on sustainable development that this topic should be taken very well, as this IoT devices and their management is very, very necessary. As we all know that this IoT devices, the Internet of Things, is controlling a lot of different parameters surrounding us. So I request the organizer to look into this subject, and I request also Dr. Kunal D. Gaikwad to please submit presentation slides if possible to the organizer. Thank you so much.
Namaste. I am Jigar, Ratnottar, research scholar from Atma University, Rajkot, Gujarat. Today I am going to present my paper in International Conference on Sustainable Development Goals 2030, Bridging Gaps, Building Futures for Viksit Bharat 2047. Title of the research paper is A Review of the Participatory Energy Management Approach for Demand Side Energy Management DSEM in Smart Grid. This is the outline of my research work. First of all, we talk about the abstract of the paper, then introduction part, then review of DSEM in globally, then after DSEM popular programs and strategies, then we talk about the DSEM perspective with respect to India, current status, challenges, barriers, and future scope. Then after we conclude the paper. Now, in abstract part, finding the right way to make use of the energy system is one of the most significant issues in current times becomes of more than one reason. A recent advancement in smart grid technology has made possible the energy sustainability for energy suppliers and customers to communicate. The implementation of demand-side energy management DSEM at the consumer level is more important because residential demand accounts for a significant portion of the total electrical energy consumption. By closely observing energy consumption and controlling appliances schedule, DSEM lowers the price of the energy purchases and related fines. Due to the increased demand of the power in modern area to meet the industrial requirements, the power generation shortfalls have been attempted to be mitigated through the development of national grid connected system, in which all national power generation sources are connected to the national grid and energy management is implemented based on the zonal requirement. Now, through the technology which is possible, that whole system is possible is known as the smart grid technology. Now, what actually the smart grid technology? As we see in the figure, that it is a revolutionary and progressive technology that replaces the conventional power grids. So, in contrast to legacy power system, the smart grid is intended to completely integrate two-way, high-speed communication technologies into the millions of pieces of power equipment. Now, what actually the energy management system in smart grid? An excess or the shortage in the generation or the consumption of the power may be disturbed the network and create a severe problems in the system. So to increase the balance between the supply and the demand in an efficient way and to reduce the peak load, the energy management system, that is EMS, are utilized. EMS can be classified in two categories. The one part is from the supplier side, that is called as a supply side energy system, that is management, that is SSEM. The second one is from the consumer side, which is called as a demand side energy management, that is DSEM. Now talk about the DSEM part. So DSEM is basically a program consists of the planning, then implementing and the monitoring kinds of activities for electrical utilities, which are designed to encourage the consumers to modify their level of patterns for electricity uses. The main goal of using the DSEM technology is to reduce the cost of the operation and the consumption, which reduce the energy losses and increase the reliability of the network. Now, the review of the DSEM in a global perspective, that in the first part, that is DSEM in the developed and the developing countries. So DSEM provides the advantages to consumer, particularly in the demand side, and electricity provides it particularly in the supply side concurrently. Now, DSEM, for instance, lowers the operating cost and guarantees the grid reliability for the former while lowering the electricity cost for the latter. With this advancement in mind, the majority of the developed countries like USA, UK, Germany are implementing smart grid technologies to enhance the execution of DSEM strategies. The second part, that is DSEM policies and the implementation. When preparing for a national DSEM program, it is very crucial to take into account all of the potential DSEM solutions. When developing policies related to the creating of DSEM strategies, it is important to keep in the mind, keeping the following in the mind points. The first point, that is the potential demand response strategy at the start of a long-term DSEM plan. The second one is the making sure that consumers receive more detailed electricity bills. And the third one is the important point is the implementation of suitable technology could be a second DSM strategy. This is the DSM popular programs and the strategy. As you see in the figure that there are the mainly it is divided into the three parts. The first one is the energy efficiency, then second one is the on-site backup part, and the most important part in the DSEM program that is known as the demand response. That is abbreviation is the DR, which is also classified into the two parts: incentive-based DR program and the price-based DR program. Now, talk about the DSM popular programs and the strategies. So there are mainly the three main popular programs in the DSM. That is the time variant pricing program. The second one is the energy efficiency investing program. The third one is the demand response program. If we talk about the implementation strategies for the DSM, then it is classified into the five different parts. The first one is the load reduction technique. The second one is the peak load management part. The third one is the load management by price-based demand response, that is known as the PBDR. And the fourth one is the open automated demand response. And the last one is the N-plug, that is known as the peak load controller. Now we talk about the DSCM scenario in India. So India is becoming a more urbanized quickly. So one of the primary factors influencing energy consumption and demand is urban development. So by 2050, the proportion of India's population living in cities is predicted to increase from the 31.6% to almost 57.7%, with consequent efforts on the energy uses and the carbon emissions. So in this context, it is very critical to apply the concepts of smart energy management to address the urban challenges like waste management, green and resilient infrastructure, access to clean and reliable energy, and sustainable transportation. This is the picture of energy sector in India, which is the current scenario. So India is the third biggest producer and client of the electricity globally, with the hooked up the power capacity of almost 404.13 gigawatt as of the July 31, 2022. Beneath the Union Finance for 2022-23, the government almost allocated rupees 19,500 crores for a PLI scheme to enhance the manufacturing of high performance of solar modules, that is the renewable energy sector. The Ministry of New Renewable Energy predicted that our renewable energy capacities would be approximately 55 gigawatt and 98 gigawatt respectively at the conclusion of the 12th and the 13th plan. Now this is the smart grid development in India. So as seen in the picture that the Indian Smart Grid Task Force, that is known as the ISGTF, beneath Ministry of Power, that is Government of India, has shortlisted the 11th smart grid pilot projects all over the India, is shown in the figure, that is spread out from the countries for demonstration of the technology. Now, there are certain DSCM challenges and the future scopes in India. So first of all, we talk about the challenges in DSCM, that insufficient infrastructure for information, communication, and technology. Then second one is the insufficient education about the DSCM and its advantages. The third one is the system becomes more complex when using a DSCM based approach is opposed to a traditional one. A fluid market structure and insufficient motivation. Then DSM based strategies frequently have lower competition. Then the last one is the long term economic benefits of DSM based solution. Now certain future scopes also we find in the paper, that is the first future scope is the generation domain of the smart grid, and second part is related to the transmission domain. The third one is related to the distribution domain. The fourth one is related to the consumer domain, and the last one is related to the operation domain of the smart grid. Now, if we conclude the our paper, then this study reviews the implementation and the policy related initiatives in smart grid, along with through examination and the participatory approach of the various technologies employed in the demand side energy management. India's ability to generate electricity has gradually increased over time, but it is still not enough to meet the country's growing demand. The Indian DSCM market is still in its infancy, but its enormous potential to save the energy for a wide range of consumer types. In India, DSEM programs are mostly run by utilities with very few government programs in the planning stages. Such programs need to time and resource to implement. Dhanyavad. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. As a session chair for India's biggest virtual conference on Sustainable Development Goals 2030, Bridging Gaps, Building Futures for Viksit Bharat 2047, I am here to discuss the third review paper of the session submitted by Dr. Jigar Ratnottar Bhanushankar, a research scholar at Atmiya University, who explores demand size energy management in smart grids. Dr. Jigar, with increasing energy demand, DSEM optimizes electricity consumption through demand response, disturbed energy resources, and efficiency strategies. This is a very wonderful topic. Looking forward towards this Sustainable Development Goal 2030, where energy conservation and energy management needs to be done. Dr. Jigar has studied reviews, global policies, implementation, strategies, and challenges, highlighting the role of smart grids in enhancing energy efficiency. Dr. Jigar discussed successful programs in developed countries and how the slow adaptation in India is due to infrastructural and policy barriers. This is where Dr. Jigar trying to make sure that public understand that infrastructure development is very, very much necessary, especially towards the sustainable development goals. The research emphasizes the need for advanced metering, automation, policy reform to improve energy management, reduce consumption, and support sustainability goals. Dr. Jigar presented the research very well. His slides were really wonderful, with clearly depicting the need of time, how these sustainable development goals of 2030 for a Viksit Bharat can be made. I request Dr. Jigar Ratnottar Bhanushankar, a research scholar from Atmiya University, and his supervisor to kindly submit the research paper completely, and I guess they have submitted this paper. The slides were really good, and we look forward to publish this research paper, and I request the conference organizer to accept his research paper towards publishing. It's a wonderful research on sustainable development goal, and I at this end of the review paper, I really thank the organizers of this conference for this India's biggest virtual conference. That we need such kind of conferences where people can come and present on all the different ideas on sustainable development, making this Viksit Bharat 2047 quite successful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to the organizers, to the audiences, and everyone attending this session. Thank you so much.